Hey guys, how you doing? This is Rich from Rich TV Live, and I was just watching a video with Jim Cramer from Mad Money. I'm a big fan of Jim Cramer, and on CNBC. I'm a big fan of Jim Cramer, actually kind of a fanboy. I've always been a fan of Jim Cramer. And when I started this show, a lot of it was because of Jim Cramer. So I owe a lot to Jim Cramer, and amongst and as well as other people. So I was listening to Jim Cramer, and he believes that this market sell-off is an opportunity. And he believes, and kind of agree with him, that this is just a pullback and a buying opportunity, and that you'd be crazy not to be buying companies like MasterCard, which took a huge hit. Um, he's not suggesting he would put all his money to work, but he's saying that, it would make a lot of sense to put some of your money to work in a situation like this if you're sitting on cash, because he believes it's a buying opportunity, and he believes that there are opportunities out there like mRNA, which I just did a video on, and Gilead, Gild, which I'm going to do a video on, and I've been talking about, which has a cure for potentially the coronavirus. So mRNA, CODX, which also went up over 100% today, and I brought to you guys January 31st, one of my top 10 stocks for February 2020. It was actually my 10th pick, should have been my first pick. CODX exploded today. They've got a vaccine which is going to be used potentially for the coronavirus. Gilead, Gild, they are working on a vaccine for the coronavirus. mRNA is working with a vaccine for the coronavirus. So there is opportunities there. And when companies are falling, good companies like Apple, like Tesla, like MasterCard have all been falling, this is actually a buying opportunity. And I agree with Jim Cramer here. I believe it's a buying opportunity. However, this could get worse before it gets better. I don't know when it's going to get better or if it will get better, but I did predict, and I've been talking about the coronavirus now for 5 weeks. I did predict that it would hit 100 countries. We're now in over 40 countries. I did predict that we would have deaths in Canada and the United States. We don't yet, and I hope I'm wrong. But the reason why I predicted this was I couldn't understand why our governments were bringing people in from the epicenter of the outbreak when we were safe without any cases where we were flying people from the epicenter of the outbreak. So you have to understand that there's an opportunity there with coronavirus stocks, which is why I talked to you guys about a bunch of coronavirus stocks. And some of them have done very well. NVAX has done very well. CODX has done very well. NNVC has had some times where it's done very well. It's been up and down. AEMD did well, and then it had some problems with the SEC. Now they're trading again. So they've actually been down, and I think that might be a buying opportunity there. So Jim Cramer believes that this is a buying opportunity, and that there will be opportunities with companies that might be able to create a vaccine that could save this pandemic from becoming bigger than what it is. And I agree with him. There's an opportunity there. However, this is a very volatile time for investors. So be very careful with your investing right now. Be extremely careful. Try to stay in a lot of cash. The markets are highly volatile, and any amount of news, good or bad, could swing the market in one way or the other. So it's a very, very difficult time to invest. Gold's been doing very well, but even gold's been taking a hit the last couple of days. So be very weary, because on days where they're saying, oh, the coronavirus is going to be okay, coronavirus stocks are going to go down. On days where the market has a lot of volatility, gold's going to go up. On days when the market's up, gold could be down, coronavirus stocks could be down. So there's all these moves that are happening in the market that give us opportunity up and down to make money. And we need to take advantage of the trends. The trend is our friend. But we also have to understand that this is a very unprecedented time. Yes, Donald Trump is going to go live in What, is he not live already? You should be live already, no? I know Trump is going to be going live to discuss comments by the CDC, the Center of Disease Control. Angel says, should I start looking into inverse ETFs for short term? Yes. Yes. This is a very serious problem, and it's spreading everywhere. It's spreading in our communities now in Canada. It's spreading in our communities in America. It's spreading in our communities in Iran. It's spreading in our communities, obviously, in China. It's spreading in communities in Korea. It's spreading in communities in Japan. It's spreading in communities in Italy. It's spreading in communities all over the world. Infinite Possibility says this is the worst the market has seen since 2008. Yeah, in 2008, we weren't dealing with a pandemic that could take us all out. This is a very serious problem. And it's going to have very serious repercussions on the global economy, which I've been talking about for 5 weeks. As of Friday, it'll be 5 weeks since I started talking about the coronavirus, because I always like to bring everybody the news first. At the beginning, when I first started talking about this, everybody said I was crazy. Canadian guy says this will drag on. I agree, because they don't have a solution yet. They don't. And there's some numbers coming out of China that are just frightening of what the real numbers are. Andy Murray says, hey, Rich, smash the like button. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate you, bro. JT says, my put options are finally looking very nice. Yeah. I bet. Now's the time to buy puts, because the market is under a lot of selling pressure. That's shorting, that's people pulling money out, thinking that this is doomsday. There's people buying perishable foods and storing them in their homes, creating bunkers. You know, it's crazy time right now. Everybody's got their own opinion on this, but it's definitely a serious situation, and I don't think people are joking about it anymore. I never joked about it since day one. I always thought it was real, and I thought it was serious. More labs for this guy. Yeah, labs is at a really good price, but when are the cannabis stocks ever going to turn around? JT says, I'm in my car watching Rich in his car. Hey, man. Love it. Love it. You know, I was watching Cramer, and I was like, you know what? Let me go live and tell people what Cramer thinks, because Cramer has a pretty good insight on the markets. And Buffett said the same thing. Buffett said this is a buying opportunity. So I believe it is. I believe it is. The question is, how low are we going to go? I think this is just getting started, so the market could clearly go lower. If it wasn't for the coronavirus, the market would be way higher right now. So I always said when I was talking about the market melt-up, I didn't know how the coronavirus would affect the market melt-up. It's clearly now affecting the market melt-up. It's clearly now affecting the market melt-up. Leo the Landscaper says CODX up 147% at one point today. I caught 80% of it. Nice. Good work. Good work. Thank you guys for joining. I just want to talk about Cramer. I'm a big fan of Cramer's. He's been hugely successful. When I started my show, he inspired me with Mad Money. I'm not going to lie. I think Rich TV Live is kind of a cross between Jim Cramer and Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk kind of gave me the idea of building a social media platform. Jim Cramer gave me the idea of talking about stocks. And Joe Rogan gave me the idea of kind of having a podcast, like a show, where I could interview people. So I kind of got all my inspiration from those three guys. And obviously, Howard Stern. Studied radio and television broadcasting in school, and I always idolized Howard Stern. So that's kind of what has inspired Rich TV Live. And I think we're a very unique platform because we can talk about anything. And we talk about anything and everything. So we have a very unique position where a lot of these platforms, they're focused on a certain area of news, and that's their focus. Whereas with us, we can pretty much focus on whatever we want. And I like that. I enjoy that. I think it gives us the ability to be first. And it's funny when everyone now, a month later, is talking about coronavirus, when I was talking about it 5 weeks ago. And now they're talking about it in all of their headlines every day, all day. And 5 weeks ago, I was talking about coronavirus and how it was going to change the world, how it was going to grow to be a global epidemic, global pandemic, how it was going to grow to 100 countries. And now it's in 40 countries and it's only getting worse, exactly as I predicted. So now Jim Cramer is talking about the coronavirus a lot, how it's affecting the markets a lot, how it is slowing the markets globally, how it's going to continuously affect the markets, how there are companies out there that are not getting exposure to China. So some companies will not be affected that much, and that he believes that the markets will go back to being strong and that these are buying opportunities. This is the thing. When you have so many rich Americans and rich people all over the world, they can't sit on the sidelines forever. Every time there's a dip, they're going to buy. That's what they do. That's what rich people do. They like to invest. So if Jim Cramer, who's managing a hedge fund, is saying that he's got money on the sidelines and he's going to be buying the dip, you know that a lot of the big boys are going to buy the dip. A lot of big boys are going to buy the dip. All right, guys. Just wanted to share that video with you. I got to run. I got a busy day. A lot of things going on. Stay tuned to Rich TV Live. If you like this video, smash the like button. Comment down below. Share the video everywhere. I might come back later. I would have loved to stream that speech by Trump, but I'm just busy. I can't, single dad with kids, different things going on all the time, 24/7. So I got to run, but thank you for watching. If you're not winning, you're not watching. It's your boy Rich from Rich TV Live, and I'm out. Peace. Jim Cramer, man. Shout out to Jim Cramer, Mad Money. CNBC, man. I don't always agree with you, Jim, but you know what? I always respect you. It's true.